We are headed to Asheville, North Carolina for
Family Life Weekend to Remember in Asheville, and I am pumped. We got a special invitation from Family Life. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, and it's for us to check it out and potentially explore new opportunities in the future. So we're so excited to hear from some married couples on how to improve our marriage and how we can have the best relationship. And Travis and I are definitely all about just constantly improving ourselves and just wanting to be our best self.
Welcome back to The Noble Marriage. We are excited to bring to our channel exciting adventures that we go on as a couple to give you a peek into how we have fun together, how we celebrate each other, and bring laughter to the mix. Having fun and laughing is so important. Life is serious enough, and we want to bring fun and adventure to our channel for your whole family to enjoy.
One of the things I'm most excited about is our date night. We're going to the best restaurant ever in Asheville, Zombra's.
We love that place. It's very special to us because I actually realized that I might be pregnant the first time and I think the last time that we've been there.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
Maybe we've been once since. I can't remember exactly, but
That's right.
we had such a great night that night, just talking about potentially what that would look like. And sure enough, Haven was born just 9 months later. So it's a special place in our heart. And is that tonight or tomorrow night? So Saturday night, they encourage us to take a date night and plan something special. So we were like, hands down, Zombra's it is.
We have date night all the time, but we do it in the house. And It's rare that we go out and spend money or dress up to do a date night. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we love date nights at home. It's our thing. It's where we are comfortable and all our, things we like are there. So we also have a little channel for Haven. So if you have kids, you're going to want to check out her channel. It's Sweet Haven Rain. And we do all kinds of family adventures with her. And so hopefully it'll give you guys some ideas of different adventures you can take as a family also. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. We're about to pull up at our hotel. We're staying at the Crown Plaza.
Come with us. At the Crown Plaza Hotel, we're going in.
This is so cute in here. Oh, look at that fireplace down there.
This place is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Vicki, we're checking in.
What is the last name?
Graham, Graham.
This really nice gentleman gave us the layout of the city and recommendations for the best restaurants in town.
Our room was not ready in Asheville at the Crown Plaza, and so we came to do some walking around Asheville.
See all the cute little shops down here.
And right now we're at the Grove Arcade. I think it's really interesting.
Travis just saw this place that says Asheville Pinball Museum, and he told me he's going to teach me a thing or two about, no wait, what did you say?
I'm going to school you.
School me.
Pinball.
Okay, I guess I'm about to learn all about pinball.
And they're closed.
Uh-huh.
I guess we're not going to.
I think it was about a year ago, I really started getting into plants and just absolutely love them. So we just saw this cute little garden and we're gonna walk through it. It's a community garden. It's so cool.
We're probably not going to walk through it since it has a
chain on it.
chain on the.
Here's the garden.
It's beautiful.
I'm such a plant mommy. I just love taking care of my plants and nurturing them. Such a hobby of mine. So we're at a champagne bar and they have some really yummy charcuterie boards that we're gonna check out. Let me show you. Check out this cheese plate. Everything I love. And I have you, such a bonus. So we are so excited because we are at a weekend to remember with Family Life.
We just came in here, we walked in the room. There looks like there's hundreds of chairs put out. Everybody's set up, they got their books set out, they have all their material put out, and we're excited to be here in about an hour, hour and a half. They're going to be starting for the entire weekend. And
like 3 hours from now, actually.
3 hours from now, they're going to be starting. And it's going to be the whole weekend where we get to just disconnect from our life, disconnect from our everyday, our phones and our tablets and our computers, and just be very intentional with our spouse, be able to
snuggle up and learn something new.
Yes, and that is exciting.
What marriage retreats have done for our marriage is we were a hot mess, to say the least. And when we started going, we started picking up little tools here and there so that we could start actually making a difference in our marriage. And over time, those tools have really been a tremendous difference for our marriage.
Yeah, just some small things. Like we would go to retreats like this, and we're like, what's that one golden nugget, that one thing that we can take home and make some type of change? And what we've talked about is if you're just making a 1% change, the trajectory of that is really large. And so like for me this weekend, I was talking to you and I was like, there's 3 things that I want to do. Something to improve our marriage, something to improve myself as a parent, and something to improve in our marriage ministry. And I don't know what that is. Thinking maybe communication or something.
That's what I want to learn.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm always wanting to learn, how can I communicate better with you?
I definitely want to do that, to stop mind reading. Like one of the things I do a lot is like I mind read what you're thinking.
You don't have that superpower?
I do not.
So we're so excited about this weekend and we can't wait to bring you along with us. And right now we're about to go do a marriage assessment where we have questions given to us from Weekend to Remember to just reflect on where are we now and where do we want to go with our relationship.
Yeah. It's important to know, because if you don't know where you're going, how do you know if you get there? If you don't know what the destination is or where you want to end up, how will you know? And that's a lot of times how we ended up drifting in our marriage, is not having a vision or a purpose or a goal of where to go.
And if you don't assess where you are right now, how do you know improvement has happened? So we're gonna go do that. We'll bring you along.
So we are trying to figure out how to get into our room.
We're on a detour.
We're on a detour and we're just walking.
Oh, this is no, there's maybe an entrance.
We think we found an entrance. We've just been walking, and luckily this like property is so gorgeous. I don't know if you can really see it from here.
Golf course, ponds.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, but we got a little turnaround.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Saturday morning. It's about 7:30. We have to be in class
At 9.
At 9, hour and a half.
We're early risers anyways, so we like to get up around 6:30, 6:45 every morning, and we go for a walk typically and eat our breakfast. So this morning, my walk was down to the front desk to warm up our breakfast.
So we bring our own breakfast. We have the same breakfast every morning and have for about 6 months
It's
now.
so tasty. It's a
It is
protein
delicious.
bowl.
Not
It
6
has-
months, like 4 months, 3 months.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you really quick what's in it, and you might want to try it out. It is warm and yummy and so delicious. So we have 2 scoops of PB Fit protein powder. We actually combine it with a vanilla powder from Juice Plus, but we put 2 scoops of protein powder, 1 scoop of assorted crushed up nuts. We put a little bit of live grain cereal that has some yummy raisins in it. And then we put chia seeds, hemp seeds, and flax seed. And we mix all that into a container and we put 1 scoop of that. And then we add milk,
Almond milk.
and we pop it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. And so it's warm and like oatmeal-like texture. And then we put fresh fruit on top. We do strawberries and blueberries and bananas, cut that up, and then we put a little bit of almond butter and some honey.
And cinnamon.
Oh,
it's delicious. Oh, so good.
Every morning we look forward to our breakfast and we eat
It's
it
like
together.
It's like a warm hug in the morning.
It is. It's so tasty. So then also, I realized I forgot to pack clothes for tomorrow.
We always forget something on our trip. She has forgot her underwear. I have forgot my clothes. I forgot toothbrushes.
But
Every trip I
inevitably,
forget something.
I don't, like when we go somewhere for a weekend, I'm like, it's just 2 days. It's Saturday and Sunday. So somewhere in my mind, it gets all messed up. And I'm like, well, the clothes I have on, and I'll pack a pair of outfits. And Saturday, I'm always like, wait a second, I have no more clothes.
I think it's awesome. She has 3 pairs of shoes and 2 pairs of clothes.
Yeah. Yes.
I
don't have
have
the shoes.
I have 4 pairs of clothes and 1 pair of shoes.
Yeah. I know, you're pretty good at remembering everything, but sometimes
No, I
I
forget.
just get all screwed up in my head and
I forgot my toothbrush last time.
oh,
I didn't
right.
use yours.
Oh, thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Have you ever used your spouse's toothbrush? Oh.
Some people might think that's okay.
Well, we just wanted to share really quick a little bit about the sessions last night.
Weekend to Remember Family Life.
Yeah, they give you this amazing workbook, and it is
Oh, it's
high
good.
quality. It is like really thought through, really well put together. And so last night, we were looking at what is our dream for marriage, and I just love that they started with that because we start with that with our couples.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
start with a vision of where you're going to go as a couple, where you're going to go as a person. Because if you don't know, how do you know if you get there? And so just creating a vision of what that looks like. And I love it that they create the same way. They do the same, something very similar.
Yeah, and I also loved they had us reminisce. They had us go back because how many times, 10 years down the road in marriage, 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road, you forget what even attracted you to that person to begin with because everything else is taken over and all the negativity and all the things we don't like about each other and all that stuff. And so we were just like thinking about that. And what was interesting for us about that is we were thinking back to when we were dating and talking about marriage, and we don't even remember dreaming about like potential future things.
Yeah, so the question is, what were your original dreams for your marriage? And I was thinking back, the question was thrown out there, and then I was like,
Did we even dream?
I don't think I ever dreamed about what we would accomplish in marriage, where we would go in marriage, what our marriage
Like
would look like.
together.
No, I thought about myself, like
I
where I
thought
was going
about
to go
myself.
in my career, where I was going to go maybe in my physical body, or how I looked. I never thought about us together and what that looked like. Have you?
Yeah.
Have you thought about like where your marriage is going to go and what the
Or did
original
you?
dreams were?
Did you think about that before you got married? I think we both wanted to be successful in life.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. Is I thought I want to be successful, but I never really defined what success was,
Right.
other than here's what I really thought last night is have a lot of money and be famous or be known for something.
And that we would just support each other in whatever that looks like, but not necessarily do it together.
Yeah.
It was still a very selfish thing in each other. So that was really cool to just look back and be like, wow, no wonder we ended up where we ended up. I mean, we've been married 16 years now, and it took us until we had been married 12 years to start thinking about, well, where are we headed? Because we don't like where we are. So that was great. And then they talked about oneness and drift and the importance of constantly growing together, because if you're not growing together and if you're not headed towards oneness, you are drifting. There's no in between, and there's no staying the same. And we teach the same thing. You can't stay the same.
Yeah, you can't. I feel like humans are like water, and we're all predictable. And like water, if it rains down really hard, the water runs with the path of least resistance. And I think we do that too as humans, is if we are not in awareness that we're committed to a marriage and we're committed to oneness, then I'm going to drift into myself, like what's more important for me, or more selfish things. And I'm not going to be connected to our marriage. I'm going to be drifting away from it, toward isolation. And I love that they use isolation and oneness. Like I'm going toward oneness, or I'm going toward isolation. And it reminds me that we do have an enemy. Satan is real. And he actually wants us in isolation because we're very ineffective in our marriage and in the kingdom of God, or who we're created to be in God.
Yeah, and we look at what causes drift and isolation, and that was so powerful. And then this really stuck out to me. This is a linear scale of oneness and isolation. So you have isolation over here where your two little diamonds, I was like, what are those things? Where your two little diamonds aren't touching, and then you have over here, they're intertwined. And I'm just going to read each one because I would love for you to figure out, where are you on this scale? So in number 1 is, I have already pursued another relationship. I hate this person I'm married to, and I'm looking for a way out. Number 2 is, the thought of staying in the marriage is depressing. I've resolved to stay in a bad marriage for the sake of my kids or religious beliefs. Number 3 is, my spouse has done something that has completely broken my trust. I'm falling out of love and don't feel loved by my spouse. Number 4, my marriage is not improving, and I'm fearful it may get worse. We've changed so much since we got married. I don't even recognize my spouse. Number 5 is, we like being around each other, but increasingly feel like roommates. I have occasional moments of connection with my spouse. Why am I out of breath?
I don't know, but maybe you resonate with one of these, maybe 5. Maybe you feel like roommates right now.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a scale. There's a scale of 1 being, you're done. And 10, which is where she's getting to, is oneness in a marriage.
Number 6 is, I feel like our marriage could be more than what it is right now. We love each other and we're working through our differences. Number 7 is, our marriage is healthy and we understand each other's needs. We spend time working on various aspects of our relationship. Number 8, our love feels young and free. I'm very satisfied in our marriage. We laugh and play on our journey of life together. We resolve conflict quickly. Number 9 is, our marriage is resilient to any storm life throws at us. We are confident we'll have a lifetime of love and are committed to achieving marital bliss. And number 10 is, our marriage is an inspiration to others, and we're helping other couples. We are thriving in that marital oneness that God uniquely designed and destined for us. And I just wanted to share, the feelings that I have in my body just right now, even reading through that. Number 1 feels so heavy to me. And it feels so alone and so sad and destructive.
It's interesting they use the word isolation, right?
Yeah. And as I was reading through this scale, I physically felt in my body getting lighter and more airy. By the time that I read number 10 was like, oh, I love that. It was just so exciting. And it may not be necessarily that way for you, because you might be at 1, 2, and 3. But the reason I was able to literally experience 1 through 10 as I was reading it is because we've been at 1. We've been at 2. We've been at 3. We have been from 1 all the way to 10. And it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen with a snap of a finger.
Good point. It didn't.
Snap of a finger.
Good stuff.
It has taken really intentionality, and it has taken a lot of intentional work together to get to 10. It just doesn't happen all on its own.
It doesn't. And I love what they say right here, that here's a few caveats. No marriage is static. You may find that you move back and forth on this scale. And you may find that through different seasons and stages of your life, that you may be on a mountaintop right now, and you may be in a valley at another time. There may be some health conditions, maybe some other conditions or things, circumstances that come into your life that may move you back and forth. And I just want to encourage you, a lot of times those can be distractions, or maybe it's their own distractions, and it will cause drift and will take us down toward one easily. Like, it does not take work to get down to one.
Yeah, to drift to isolation.
It does not take work. It just takes just sitting back and chilling, and you'll get there. It actually takes intentionality to get to oneness.
Yeah, it does. So
It's
I really
so worth
love
it.
that.
It's so worth it. Isn't it worth it?
Yeah, it's so worth it because, man, experiencing oneness with you is so life-giving. And it literally, my life revolves around that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a marriage and things aren't going well and you're at a 1, 2, you're at the bottom numbers, like your life is not working. Because the person that I spend my life with impacts every other area of my life. And when this isn't working, nothing else is working either.
Yeah. If you're waking up and you're going to bed dreading going to sleep, being around somebody, there's a good chance that in your marriage you're down toward the lower area, because we were there and it's hopeless. And it's just so amazing when you're on the other side of the scale toward oneness, the hope that you have in you, it flows out of you to other people.
Yeah, and I just want to say that we were very open to God transforming our marriage, and He has.
Yeah.
With our work, we have worked together where He has transformed our hearts, and we have continued to take the steps that He has orchestrated for our life to move towards a 10, to be intentional.
So if you're down in the lower numbers, that's okay to be there. Just don't stay there. Do the work. Just take one extra step, one extra thing that would lead you back toward oneness with your spouse.
Come to a weekend to remember.
Yeah.
And learn some new tools on how to communicate together, how to move that number on that scale to a higher number. And you know what else they said last night that was really interesting to me, and it really resonated, is they showed a video of a couple that one of them was rating the marriage a 10. He's like, it's the best it's ever been, and it's a 10. And she's like, I'm miserable, and this is a 1. And I don't even know if I want to be married to you. I've lost my feelings for you. So sometimes your spouse is on a completely different number than you, and that's really important to discover.
Yeah.
And I believe we were there for a long time also.
Yeah.
And then we looked over the 5 levels of communication, and I love this because we teach 6 levels of communication, but it is so similar to exactly what they were teaching also. And it just helps you be able to relate with your spouse on a much deeper level and being authentic, being transparent. And a lot of times what stops us from doing that is there is not a safe place to share our hearts.
No, I would shut you down and you would be like, why would I share if he's going to be that way?
Yeah. Yeah, and when you shut me down, I'm like, I don't want to share anymore.
No, it's not safe. It's not safe to share if your spouse shuts you down or creates judgment around whatever it is you're saying. I mean, why would I want to share?
Exactly. So the next thing that we learned, and this is something we teach our couples, and it is so important, is how do you create a safe place? How do you create a place where you can openly share your heart with me, and I'm not going to judge you, assess you, shut you down, and those sort of things. And that takes that is a practice.
Yeah. So I listen, there's a lot of times I'll listen from judgment, and it's kind of like this thing that goes on in my ear right when she's talking to me. And if I allow that to be there and she's talking to me, it will make me respond back to her from that judgment. And that's what shuts her down. It's when my ego gets in the way, it's when my judgment gets in the way, and she's just trying to share with me.
Ew, and it's nasty.
And it does not create a safe environment for her to share. So when I shut her down, it's not safe anymore. But when I remove that, when I let that be out of the way, let my ego go, just be okay with whatever it is you're going to say. Because I just need to listen to it, because you're important. Your heart's important.
Well, they were talking about, and I love how they explained this, is there is the speaker and the listener, and there's something in between. And how that thing that's in between is what jacks up those conversations. Like what he was just talking about, how a lot of times he hears me from judgment. And that is the thing that's in the middle, is the story that he has about himself that people judge me. And so when I say something like, hey, what seasoning did you use on the green beans? You're like, I used the wrong dang one. And,
I used the wrong one.
And I'm like,
there's one that she likes better that I didn't use. I'm a failure.
what just happened?
That would happen to me all the time. I have this failure button in me. By the way, about 98% of all men have this, is I'm a failure. And I would have that. So when she would ask me a question, I would hear her as questioning me. Man, I would
like you're doing
sabotage.
something wrong.
I would sabotage my life and our marriage all the time because of this judgment that was running in the background that I did not even know was there.
Or sometimes I'll be sharing something that's from my perspective, not meaning you need to think like me or anything like that, but when I share my perspective, you hear me as, you should think the way that I think. What's wrong with you for not thinking the way I'm thinking?
Exactly.
And we go down this tunnel vortex fast when that happens. And, you know, no marriage is above arguments. No marriage is above disagreements. But what's different about our marriage now and the work that we've really done in it is the resilience to come back from it. We have shortened the gap that we don't allow those triggered emotions to impact us for long periods of time. I mean, it used to be the whole day was gone if we argued, or sometimes the whole week is shot, or that whole vacation, or whatever it looked like. But now we're able to let it go within minutes, and it's so powerful to live your life where, okay, that just happened, and I don't have to hold on to that. I can let that go and reconnect with you on what's really important. You have nothing. What just happened there?
So what happened was, as soon as you were ending your sentence, I was thinking about a way to capture the 800 people in the audience through a video so that we would have a B-roll of them.
You've left the conversation.
Totally left the conversation.
That's okay. I forgive you. I'll let that one go. Yeah, so that was
So be a good listener.
That was the end of the first session on Friday night, and it was just so great. We were front row sitters.
We always sit in the front row.
I think we like the front row because I get so
why.
distracted when I sit behind people. I'll look at their hair and I'll look at the back of their heads and what they're doing, and I just get so far out of what I really been there for. So we were like front row, and we loved it up there. And
I'll see a couple in front of me having a discussion. Like, I wonder what they're talking about.
yeah,
And I'll just sit there and think about that for a second. I'm like, I'm completely not listening.
right, exactly. So we'll bring you along and show you the room, show you how it's set up, and you should definitely think about coming, because after night one, after the first night, it's already worth being here. Ready?
Yeah, come join us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Saturday morning, and
I think it's 7:30 in the morning.
It's early.
We have to be in our class. I'm cutting my hair off.
We don't want to haircut.
Should we start over or we?